We have discussed the rules of engagement and the pitfalls of incompetence. But how do you measure the true caliber of a general? In this lesson, Sun Tzu gives us a grading scale of leadership based on one thing: knowledge. He defines 3 tiers. The high-level leader wins every time because they know both their own side and the enemy with stark clarity. The middle-level leader wins about half the time because they know their own strength but are blind to the enemy. And the low-level leader never tastes success because they understand neither. As we look at the shifting front lines of 2026, the difference between these levels has never been more apparent. High-level leadership starts at home. You must know your troops' capabilities so you don't waste their talents. You must know their breaking point, pushing them to the limit, but never beyond it. In 2026, we've seen a stark contrast in this self-knowledge. On the Russian side, high-intensity wave assaults and infiltration missions have led to skyrocketing casualty rates that threaten the very sustainability of their force generation. Sun Tzu would call this a middle to low-level failure, pushing troops beyond their endurance without addressing the underlying problems. Conversely, Ukraine's focus on co-learning and rotation, often sending troops to the UK for training while bringing frontline drone expertise back to the instructors, shows a high-level grasp of troop capability. They aren't just using soldiers, they are refining them. The second half of the equation is the enemy. Sun Tzu warns against the lowest level mistake, relying only on what you can see with your own eyes. You must use scouting and espionage to read the mind of the enemy leader. The 2022 invasion is now cited by historians as a classic low-level failure of intelligence. Russian leadership grossly underestimated Ukrainian resistance and overestimated their own fifth-column support. They were leading their troops blind. By 2026, the war has become a battle of living knowledge. Ukraine uses a vibrant cyber ecosystem and a constant drone ISR to create a pulse of data. They don't just see where the Russian tanks are, they anticipate where they will be because they have mapped the enemy's patterns. The war tip for this lesson is the secret to staying at the highest level. Ensure a constant stream of information flows through your headquarters. Knowledge isn't a static trophy, it's a living thing. Data from 2024 is useless in 2026. You must discard the old and update the new so that the command team pulses with living knowledge. Only then are you ready for a conflict that changes its character every single day. A leader who knows only themselves is a gambler. A leader who knows neither is a casualty. But a leader who masters both is a master of history. Remember, don't just watch the battlefield. Understand the minds that move the pieces. To summarize this lesson, knowledge is the ultimate hierarchy. Tier 1, the elite. Know self and the enemy. They achieve supreme excellence by winning before the fight starts. Tier 2, the average. Know self but not the enemy. They are destined for a coin flip victory. Tier 3, the incompetent. Knows neither. They are leading blind and will succumb in every battle. The rule of endurance. A leader must know the heart of their soldiers. Pushing a force to the point of collapse without addressing their needs is a hallmark of failure. In the current landscape of 2026, we see that living knowledge, the ability to discard old data and embrace real-time intelligence, is the only way to remain a high-level leader. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. As we conclude this lesson, and bring our journey through Sun Tzu's third chapter to its definitive end, we are left with a simple but profound grading scale for power. Victory is not a matter of luck, nor is it merely a matter of numbers. It's a matter of information. Sun Tzu tells us that the highest level of leadership is reserved for those who refuse to be blind. In the modern theater of 2026, we see that the most successful commanders aren't those with the most firepower, but those who possess the most accurate living knowledge of both their own spirit and the enemy's intent. Let's recap the hierarchy of command. The elite level. These leaders possess a 360 view. They understand the limit of endurance of their own troops, ensuring that they are sharpened but not broken, while simultaneously understanding the minds of their enemy through constant scouting and intelligence. The median level. These commanders know their own strength, but are strangers to the enemy's heart. They are destined for a 50-50 life of victories and defeats, forever vulnerable to the unexpected. The entry level. This is the level of misfortune. By knowing neither themselves nor the enemy, they rely solely on what they see in the moment. In the age of drone warfare and cyber espionage, this isn't just a failure, it's a death sentence. Our final war tip for this chapter is the most vital for the modern age. Keep information flowing. Do not rely on yesterday's maps to fight tomorrow's battles. Discard the old, embrace the new, and ensure that your command center pulses with the real-time data. When your knowledge is a living thing, you stop reacting to the war and start defining it. This marks the end of the Scroll of Stratagems for attack. We have learned that to attack is to plan is to know, and to know is to win. Knowing yourself is half the battle. Knowing the enemy is the rest. Until next time.